Well, the loft is once again covered in an absolute mess of wires. I've got wires on my left, I've got wires on my right, I've got wires going across my lap. I've got all sorts going on, but the wires all over the place must only mean one thing. That must mean that we are once again doing a stream. So, hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to you as you join me once again for another live stream from my channel Hydroken Mod Railway. It's the first one, if I've remembered rightly, if I've done my research correctly, of 2023. So hopefully everything goes well. If you haven't been to one of these Aiming for Perfection streams before, as you can see by the mishap count at the top right, I'll explain that as soon as we get started. But for now, I'll run through the intro, run the stream intro, and then I can get explaining what's going on and what sort of things you'll be seeing in today's stream. So as you can see on the bottom, new for this year, I have added a little bit of a description for what the stream is, just to keep you reminded. And if anyone else joins midway for whatever reason, then obviously that gives them a little bit more information. Mainly though, today we are doing a running session, but as I'll explain, as I said, I'll explain later. So if you can remember of any of my locos or rolling stock, then please do put your requests in, and after these lots of trains have been round for a bit, I'll start putting requests on. So do be thinking of what you want to see running on the layouts. Today we'll be live until about 6 o'clock. We may go slightly later. I'm not exactly on a time limit today because it's Bank Holiday Monday tomorrow. And to be honest, I was thinking about doing a stream tomorrow, but then yeah, we've got some stuff on. So I was thinking of doing one tomorrow because it's Bank Holiday, but unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to because we've got stuff on. But we will be live until about 6, maybe slightly past that, so there is plenty of time for the usual mishaps, derailments, and of course banter with the live chat. So I'll roll the intro for this stream for the first time in 2023, and I will see you all in about 12 seconds. Do enjoy the stream, everyone. Here we go. Well, all's going without a hitch so far. I haven't pressed the wrong button or anything. If you'll just give me a moment to check the video and audio are okay on my phone, so I'll be gone for about 20 seconds and then I'll be back once I've checked that. So one moment, please. Okay, yep, I am back. Everything seems to be working fine. One thing I just want to do is turn up the background music slightly, so let me know if this gets too loud and I'll change it. But I'm just going to turn that up slightly so you can hear that in the background. So, today, what are we going to be doing? Well, as I've already said, we are already doing a running session. I will run through my locomotives in a second and all my rolling stock so you can get in what requests you want in. But today, because it's the first stream of the year and the first time I've probably actually talked to you in a video this year about my layout. Let me check that before somebody corrects me. As far as I'm aware, this is the first actual sort of proper time I've had a chance to talk to you about my layout, and we'll be doing that a lot in today's video. I know I've talked about the wiring point motors to signals video, that was 3 months ago. Then I edited the live stream highlights, but now all the work's finished, and to be honest, it's been finished for quite a while. I just haven't been able to have a chance to tell you about it. I'll be telling you about all the work that went into putting all these signals in. Yes, you can see the signals are lit up. There we go. Those aren't. For whatever reason. It's got stuck, that's why. They're lit up, they're lit up, they're lit. You can see that there are now lit signals. Well, that was quite good. There are now lit signals right the way across the layout, as you can see there, and they are all linked to the point motors, so they will change automatically and everything like that. So I'll go through all that later. I'll go through all the new stuff that's coming to the channel. I will go through some news and the plans that are upcoming for the channel and in some videos that I want to share with you in the future. And of course we're doing requests in a running session. Now, has my capacitor bank charged up? Will this change if you look down here? Yes, you saw that change. And that signal is now on red. So we'll be going through all that, but for now I shall stop waffling on and we'll get some trains going. Let me change that point again. There we go, so we don't have any derailments. So on the Gresley line, the 4th radius, we've got the Class 37 Comet, the one that's in my review. Go check that out if you want. We have 2 Blood and Custards, a Triang Maroon, I'm just kicking on the wires all over the place, and 4, what do you call them, Pullman coaches, it's written on the side. 4 Pullman coaches, Blood and Custards, and a Triang Maroon coach for the 4th radius line. On the 3rd radius line, we have Golden Eagle with 4 Virgin Mark 4s. You can't see them, just wanted so you could see the train. And then on the 2nd radius line, which is the Stevenson line, God, I'm going to have to remember all this, we've got the 101, a load of coal trucks, and then the Queen Elizabeth II little pug at the back. So we shall get cracking on. We'll change the 3rd radius signal to green, which is not done on a point. All my other signals and points are linked together, so like as you saw over here, if I change this point here, this signal is now on green. I'm only going to pull one switch. Obviously you're just going to have to believe that it's one switch for now because I can't show you, but if I open this point here, you can see that change to red. That's automatic, whereas this one over here, that signal over there isn't automatic because it's not linked to a point. I just really wanted a, a station starter, because there's one here for these points, there's one there for those points, and there's one there. So I've just got a switch to do that one, so I can just pull that up, change to green, and we are all ready to go. These points down here need changing, so let's go 2nd radius, run around left, close those, and that's those ready to go. And I'll change those points on the main line in a second. But now I've introduced the stream, I can say hello to people in the chat. So hello to Evan Terry. Evan Terry said hello again, it's been a while. It has indeed, Evan. It feels weird, but also good to be back. And Team 666, hello, says Will. Hello, Will. Thank you very much for joining. Will's one of my friends. He's been on the channel before, for the people who can't remember. So thank you very much for joining Will and Evan. And Evan's back again. Hello, Evan. Thank you very much for joining. Set those points, and we'll get some trains going. First Comet, and something's derailed already, which reminds me I need to tell you about this. So this here is the mishap count. So the Aiming for Perfection stream, which is what this stream's titled, the idea is we try to get through the stream with the least number of mistakes possible. Now, last time we did one of these streams, we had 9 mishaps, and every time we have a derailment or something goes wrong, or I press the wrong button in OBS, we add 1 to this total here. And the challenge will be completed if we finish in the same or lower amount of mistakes than the last stream. So today we're trying to beat 9 or less mistakes, but the challenge is failed if we go over that amount. So today we're trying to get equal to or less than 9 to complete the challenge, and we've already got 1. So we shall see how we get on today. I will fix that derailment in a second, but for now, the 3rd radius line with Golden Eagle, the station signal is set to green, so we can go. We're not going to be racing round too fast to start off with. There goes Golden Eagle, there goes the tank engines and the coal train. Relatively slowly to start off with. And you know what? It's another mishap, because if you've noticed, up here, I've put the challenge failed and the challenge completed things on at the same time. So we are already up to a mishap count of 2. A derailment and an error with me showing the right things in OBS. We are up to 2 already. Not great. And I have a feeling quite a lot more, because that's twice. Oh, hang on. There's another one there. We're up to 3 in the first 14 minutes 38 seconds of the stream. That's not great. Mishap count 3. This is derailed. Now, when I was testing the train earlier, this Roberts wagon wasn't behaving, so we're just going to take that out because that will cause me great grievances later. So we shall just set that off going because I'm not faffing about today. So we're up to a third of the mishaps already in 15 minutes. And we've got an hour and a half to go. Let's slow Golden Eagle down a bit before she derails. Well, that's 2/3 of the trains going, 2/3 of the mishaps. What's happened here then? As I was saying before things started derailing, I have a feeling there's going to be quite a lot of mishaps today. Purely and simply because my arm keeps brushing against my point motor control panel, and if I flick on and set the points against the oncoming train and I don't realise that, then yeah, stuff's going to derail, innit? So we'll try setting Comet off again. I haven't put the lights in the coaches primarily because there is a lot of coaches today, and because all the batteries are slightly running flat from the amount of times I've been doing it in the past. So we're not going to bother today. I'm not going to do any running in the dark. There's too much to talk about to be faffing about with that. I think everything's now running, apart from this which has just derailed. And also Comet's, yes, there we go. If you look over here, well, you can't actually see it, but that is another mishap because, as I suspected, my arm has brushed against one of the point motor switches, and this point here, you'll be able to see when this train goes past, is actually set to go into the siding, so we need to change that. So that's another mishap, that's another 2 mishaps, because the 101 has also just derailed. Again, I was having problems with that later, but I completely neglected to take it off the track, because that wagon needs sorting. So instead, we're going to put the 08 on the front, and Queen Elizabeth at the back. Change camera. The 101's tender keeps derailing, because I think that Backman wagon's coupling's shocking. So we'll set those 2 off again. We've replaced the 101 with the 08. And we've got Queen Elizabeth on as well. We'll take that off because those 2 don't match speeds very well. We'll set Comet off again. Now the points are set correctly, and we need to add another 2 mishaps onto the list. Now that the train is off the back, we'll stick the brake van on. There you go, put the brake van on. And we need to stick another 2 mishaps onto the list. Mishap counts. 5. We are off and running eventually. It's the first one of the stream. And I've just also realised, technically, as you know if you've been to my streams a lot, the stream doesn't actually start until I announce what drink I've got. So... Oh, okay. It's all going terribly wrong because the front coupling of the Backman 08 has just decided to drop off. That's never happened. It's because I've got the... Every time I put the cameras on, things go wrong. So, there goes the 08 again. What's happened to Golden Eagle now? It's all going horribly wrong. She's derailed? Has she derailed? No, she hasn't derailed. I just turned the wrong controller off. I'm not going to count that as a mishap because in, situations where you don't want to wreck your model trains, because I've got 6 different controllers, I think reaching for the wrong controller is acceptable. So for that purpose, we're not going to count that as a mishap. Anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, on my streams, technically, the stream doesn't start until I announce what drink I'm having. So today, we have a J2 orange and passion fruit. So we shall crack that open and try not to spill juice all over the trains. Never used this bottle opener that comes with my little multi-tool before. So we shall see how terribly this works. There we go. Bottle open. And the choice of snack for today's stream is Maltesers Teasers bar. Probably not going to eat all of it, but that's the snack for today. Swig of J2O, which has warmed up significantly since I brought it up here. But we'll have a swig of that. And I think we are now running okay. Nothing's broke. Well, I say nothing's broken, everything broke at the start, but we are setting off now, so we are off and running, as Delboy says, before his telly blows up. I did notice as well that when I got the brake van out of the drawer, it dismantled itself. There are little trim pieces all over the loft, so I've got to go and pick them up without ripping the headset out of the jack. The brake van trim pieces have been retrieved. They just sort of like clip into either end of the brake van. Yeah, I took them out when I put lights in it a few months ago, and yeah, sometimes they just drop out, so they need putting back in. If anyone has any requests, I will in a moment to run through everything I own, and then you can formulate your own wacky and devious plans to create even more mishaps. So we will just bring the 08 to a stop beside the camera. I do now have 4 webcams. I got 2 more over Christmas, which yes seems a while ago, but of course I haven't done a proper HEMR stream since Christmas. I did that wiring stream, but that of course was just wiring. But there are a few teething troubles with getting 4 cameras set up and working, so I haven't done that just for today. We've stuck with the original 2. We'll send the 08 Coltrane back on its way. And we are off and running. Apologies for the loud drinking and eating noises. Opening the Maltesers bar now. Comet seems to be running fairly well. I remember I said in the review that I was concerned about it wheel slipping when it first set off with, I think, only 7 coaches I had on at the time. In fact, I've got 7 on now, but it seems to be doing fine. It's just struggles starting off, probably because it is such a light engine. Maltesers. Now that everything is up and running, I would just like to give a massive shout out to the following person in question, which is Northern Transport Hub. Now, Northern Transport Hub 2 days ago, which will be Sunday, Saturday, Friday, put out this post on his community page. This is Joe from Northern Transport Hub. Put out this post on his community page and said, put a message out about my stream. So shout out to my friend George, or at HEMR Railway. He's got a live stream, I think, at 7 PM tomorrow. I was originally going to do the stream on Saturday, but I had things on, so I decided to move it today. We're doing it, obviously, 4:15 while 6 today. He said he's got a live stream, I think, tomorrow, and to be brutally honest, he does not get many viewers, which is true. Kind of my own fault for doing it a weekend, on weekend at sort of like times where people might be going out or still out for the day or having tea or whatever, but it's the only time I can do it, and yeah, people do come, so obviously I accept that I don't get many viewers. I think most we've had is about 9, but we enjoy these little streams, don't we? So I agree with what he said there. And he said, so if some of you guys can maybe join, if you're not doing anything, he'll be doing a running session. He's listed some of my engines there, and he's given me a shout out on his channel. So thank you very much to Joe from Northern Transport Hub. Thank you very much for your shout out, and I left him a reply as follows. So thank you very much to anyone joining from Joe's community post shout out, and thank you to Joe as well for the shout out as well. Great channel is Joe from Northern Transport Hub. Please do go and subscribe. Back to the trains. So I'll now go through the list of locos and rolling stock in case you've forgotten what I own, so you can begin thinking of requests. So obviously on the layout we have the O8s, the coal trucks, the open wagons, the brake van, 4 Pullman coaches, a Trying Maroon coach, Comet, 37, 2 Blood and Custards, 4 Virgin Mark IVs, Golden Eagle DA4. In addition to that, we have a D16, a 3 Flying Scotsman, a 1 Tornado, a 9F, a German 03.10, this brute, a 101, a Pug saddle tank, a little LMS Triang tank engine. Moving on to diesels, we have a Virgin HST, and for today only, until we sort of post it, this power car, this old Intercity 125, it's the dummy car technically, but it's free rolling because obviously in sets they have 1 powered. What's up with you? More beans? No, you have actually just broken. It's derailed, we'll sort that in a minute, but I do have this power car from some I bought a while ago. I sold the driven power car but didn't sell the dummy power car, so if you want to see this with anything today, either just randomly jammed on the back or something, or with the other Virgin HST, you can do. I've got the Class 31 Floriat Salopia, and then the rest of my stock involves some container wagons and another random jumble of wagons. So if you want to see any of them in requests today, please let me know and I'll do my best to accommodate thee. Don't know what we're wrong with Golden Eagle. Technically not going to count that as a mishap. I have no strict rules for mishaps, but I wouldn't say a train stopping constitutes as a mishap. It's not exploded, so... I think I'll send the 08 round the runaround loop. So I need to check I'm flicking the switches the right way. And just to prove to you that the signals are interlocked, what I will do is change the points. So now, red and green, and when I wait for the capacitor bank to charge up a little bit, I'll flick them over and send it around the runaround loop. I will at some point go through a video explaining all of the wiring and explain my control panel and my logic behind where I've placed the signals, because nearly all of the signals, of the points, have signals attached to them, but quite a few don't. So I will at some point explain to you my reasoning and logic behind putting signals in what might seem to be some quite daft or quite silly places, but I will explain to you my logic behind them, because there is some logic behind them. I haven't necessarily followed sort of like railway code or anything. I've done it so that it makes sense to me and it would make sense to you, the viewer watching, without too much explanation. So you can see they're red and green. I flick the switch, and you can see it's now green and red, and the 1 point down here has also changed. And we should, unless again there is a massive problem, see the 08 now go around the runaround loop, as here. And when I wait for the capacitor bag to charge up again, I'll swap them, and then you'll be able to see it'll be green and red instead. Red and green instead, sorry. Now see, Green, red and green. The colours that I've swapped. All the trains seem to be bunched together at the moment. Might try and spread them out a bit. Oh, they seem to be doing now. I tell you what, we'll stop Comet there for a bit, let everything get a little bit out of sync, and set it going again, because there's no point having 3 trains on the same camera all the time, or otherwise what's the point of having a dual camera display? So we'll stop the 08 there for a bit behind the laptop, where you can't quite see. Set the 08 going again. And we'll set Comet going again. It's a little bit better now, we've got a nice spread. Also, the 08's going on at a rate of knots, we might turn that down a little bit. So, the first thing I want to talk about today, I know I've glossed over it previously and said I'd make a video on it, but I am now going to briefly run through what has sort of happened to do with the signals and the points. So, and this is just going to be a brief overview, it's not going to be anything in depth. I just want to give you a little bit of a background as to what's sort of gone on before I do the main big video about how all the signals and the points work and going into the technical side of stuff. Mystic Railroad has just joined. Thank you very much for joining Mystic Railroad, thank you very much for joining. Hope you are okay this afternoon. So, the points and the automatic points, point motors, the signals, how they're linked together. We'll go through that now. So, it's all fed from my Hammond & Morgan safety minor controller. I would have fed it from my homemade controller my granddad built, but I wanted to sort of have the switches independent, so I'm now flicking the auxiliary switch on the controller my granddad built, and as you can see, all the signals are controlled with that switch. I wanted separate, independent, isolated switches for the signals and the controller my granddad built. So, controller my granddad built, because big trains are running on the 4th radius line that draw quite a lot of current, I've put the LEDs on the auxiliary supply of that because they draw low current, so then we've got more current to use for the actual running. And then because we run slightly less big trains on the 3rd radius line, I've put the slightly more power demanding point motors on that one because we've got a little bit more power for the point motors, a little bit less for the trains, which we don't really need because the trains on the 3rd radius line aren't massive. We shall sort that in a minute, but we must remember mishap count 6. So we've got the HEMR safety minor feeding a capacitor discharge unit with 12 volts DC, which charges up. A capacitor discharge unit is basically just like a big battery that not only charges up very quickly, it can also release all of its energy very quickly as well. So we charge that up, and then when we flick the switch for the point motor, it gives a great oomph of power that forces the point across more forcefully. If we just ran it off 12 volts DC or 16 volts AC, then the point really wouldn't change over with much force. If you look at the right hand side of the screen, it would sort of just slip over like that instead of going bang straight across. So that's why we've got a capacitor discharge unit, just to give the points a little bit more oomph. It forces them across with one big punch of energy a lot quicker, And also, if for any of the reasons the switch sort of like welds shut, the contacts melt together for whatever reason, if one of the switches become damaged, there isn't constantly 12 volts DC going through a point motor which should burn it out. The energy that, it's not charging up the capacitor discharge unit, so if one of the point motors ever gets shorted on, it's going to be very low current and voltage going through it, which means it's not going to burn out. We've got a bank of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 switches, controlling all the points of my layouts. I have actually got something like 21 points on my layout, but because we've got 2 points here on the crossovers ganged together from one switch, so one switch will change this point that way, and the same switch will also flick the other point the other way to allow the crossover to open up. We've got one switch doing 2 points over here, and another switch doing 2 points over there from the 4th to 3rd radius and the 3rd to 2nd radius crossovers, respectively. And all the other points are just on one switch per point. The only sort of interlocking I've done has been over here on the crossovers over here and the crossovers over there where Golden Eagle is now. I've got a homemade MDF, 3mm MDF panel with all the switches in, and as you can see over here, I've also got one switch for the station starter signal there. Go from red to green, which I've not interlocked with any points or anything. Because there isn't a point over there. All the signals, they're not controlled by relays or logic or anything like that. The Gauge Master, is it PM1 point motors? The PM1 point motors that I'm using have auxiliary switches in them, so you can feed the positive connection, the plus 12 volts DC to the signals, and then you can feed the 2 negatives, 1 negative for the red only, 1 negative for the green only, through the accessory switches of the PM1, and then if you wire it up correctly, when the point's closed, then you can have it on green. When it's open for the train to go into another direction, but not ahead, as of this one, you can have it on red. I've got a big isolator. You might be able to hear this if I get my mic close. I've got a big beefy switch to control the power on for the points. So as I said, I've got 2 separate switches. I can isolate the signals and turn them all off, but with this big switch, if you can hear it, I can also turn off the power to the CDU and the point motors if I'm working on them for whatever reason. And that is mishap count number 7, because I've knocked one of the point motor switches with my arm, and Comet has gone into the siding, so we need to reset that, and off we go. That's mishap count number 7. And now time to fix A4, Golden Eagle, who I battered off the track. That's the only problem with having this control panel, I often whack my arm on it. Mystic Railroad, I wasn't ignoring your comment, I was just getting to the end of my ramble, because otherwise I'll forget what I'm on about. Thank you very much for joining Mystic Railroad. My name is George, and you've said your name is John. Hello John, thank you very much for joining. Thanks for taking the time to join the stream today. My name is George. Off Golden Eagle goes again. There we go. So that is all the layout updates I've really got to do. Just going over the installation of all the point motors and signals. The only thing I've got to say is progress on the layout is probably once again going to be slow this year because I've got exams. I've only got so much money I can spend on the layout. I'm starting to get some polystyrene in, and I've already got the hot wire foam tool required to actually, cut the foam and shape it. So, when I've got the money, when I've got the time, when I haven't got exams, then I will be starting to build some hills, but obviously there's no point doing landscaping if you haven't put all your point motors and your signals in, because these will just make a load of sawdust mess all over your scenery, and you'll end up knackering your scenery right up. So that's why I choose to spend the £110 on the point motors and signals and switches before I did the scenery. So it might seem like I'm delaying scenery. It's really not something I want to do, is delay it, but this needed to be done first, because I found that when doing videos, sort of reaching over all the way to the back of the board, especially on the coal sidings right behind me, and to the back of this camera here, it's an absolute pain to try and reach over the back, and especially when you're making shunting videos, you're going over there, flicking a point over by hand, running to the end of the other loft, turning the power up, going to the other end, switching points, running, changing power controllers, changing directions, It's too much effort when I can stay in one area, set the camera up, drive the trains and change the points, you know, and only have to move my arm 30 centimetres rather than running between two sides of the loft. It just makes sense to spend the £110 to install it, so all in the installation came to £110, which I'm very happy about. But that is the first item off the list, layout updates. Channel news and shout-outs will be going on next. If anyone would like any requests, please put them in the chat now. This is a running session stream, this is a request stream, so if you want any requests, if you want to say anything in particular, put them in the chat and I will take one of the trains currently on the layouts and put yours on. Anyone can have one, just say what you want to see and I will do my best. If not, I shall put some different ones on myself. I think the next thing we will talk about is channel news and upcoming videos. We'll do shout-outs a little bit after that. Comet still seems to be performing very well. Dial everything back a bit, it seems to have sped up a little bit now. Thank you very much, John. It will look even better when it's got some hills and some greenery and some scenery on it, but thank you very much. It's taken a lot of work to get to this point. Nothing's really happened for a few years. Well, I say a few years. Nothing significant has happened sort of this year or last year. Got the track and the platforms and the ballasting done, and just obviously, yeah, had to do all the point motors and the signals. But I'm happy now there, excuse me. Jason was repeating on me. And then I can get some scenery. Excuse me. I've already got a load of polystyrene from when we had all the appliances for the kitchen delivered in their packaging, so I will get cracked on at some point. I just need some more wire for my foam cutter because, yeah, that one broke. I think I was forcing it a little bit too hard through the polystyrene. I have got a roll of it somewhere. Some of it, some like nichrome wire came with it when I first bought it, but I can't for the life of me remember where I've put it. I think we'll send the 08 through the runaround loop again, why not? Probably give these trains a few more laps each and then we'll get some of your guys' requests on, or some of my own. Well, that's gone all right. It's not derailed. We'll close that runaround loop off. Now it's easier to get the trains on and off. So, closing the loop now. Rightio then, let's get things slowed down. Ready to stop at the station. The 08's already going pretty slow, I don't have to worry about that too much. Yeah, now let's get the third radius signal changed to red. So we'll stop Golden Eagle first. I'm not going to try and stop 3 trains at once because we all know how that ends. So there goes Golden Eagle. Stop before the signal. Stop the Comet before the signal, but her signal stays on green. And we'll just wait for the 08 to come round. A little bit of a rest in my ears and my family downstairs because, yeah, even though this is in the loft, yeah, it makes quite a lot of noise. You can hear it downstairs sometimes if I've got 3 loud trains going. John has said, sorry if I missed, but what point motors are you using? Don't worry about missing things, that's fine, not a problem at all. I am using Gagemaster SEEP PM1 point motors, the ones with the built-in accessory switch. Gagemaster SEEP PM1s. I don't know if they're necessarily marketed under the Gagemaster brand, but they are Gagemaster and they come in Gagemaster packaging. So, yeah, SEEP PM1 point motors. I might be able to show you one, actually. I'll tell you what, I'll try and show you one. While we've just got stopped for the moment, I will pinch this webcam off its tripod. There we go. And I can show you a little bit more about what I was talking about. The focus might not be brilliant, but I'm not faffing about with that now. But here you can see, this is my MDF control panel. It's relatively sturdy, it's only just screwed on at the top. This is the big switch I was on about, the big on-off switch, so I can isolate the point motors. If I turn that off and then flick one of these switches to get rid of the remaining charge out of the CDU, the system is now completely discharged and I can, you know, safely work on it. I mean, it's only 12 volts DC, but it just saves you shorting stuff. And I've got a little power LED here as well that's causing a lot of glare on camera. These are all point motors. These all connect to point motors, and obviously 2 of them are linked together. That one's linked together, and that one's linked together for 2 point motors. And then most of these also go with switches as well. And then this is, as you can see, green up, red down, the third radius station starter signal. And these are all point motors. So this is an on, off, on, you know, constant switch. These are all, as you can see, momentary switches. So that's that, and then these are the point motor control panel. In my controller drawer, this controller is doing the third radius line and feeding the CDU, which are those connections down there. And then this one is doing the 4th radius line, but then if you can see, if I turn off that switch, that's controlling the signals. And yeah, this is where I sit. I don't often show this, but that is where I sit. You can see what I mean at the start of the stream by wires everywhere. This is where I run my streams from. So yeah, that's what everything looks like. And the SEEP PM1, yes, you get to see the absolute mess that is the underneath of my baseboards. That, if I can show you better, is a SEEP PM1 point motor. So there's 6 wires going to it. Yeah, 3 of which do the actual switching of the points, and 3 which do the points actual, you know, the point motor changing over itself, the 2 positives and the common negative, and 3 which do the accessory switch. So yeah. That is what I was ranting on about earlier, and now to set this camera up without being too finicky over it. There we go, that'll do. So let's get some more trains on. If anyone has got any requests, please do put them in the chat now. I'll run quickly through what I've got so you can begin thinking of something. If you don't want anything, that's fine. But we have a Class 37 Comet to choose from, an 08 Shunter, the A4 Golden Eagle. We have Flying Scotsman, a D16, Tornado, a 9F, a big German Pacific as such, a LMS little tank engine, a Great Western 101, a Queen Elizabeth liveried Pug, 0F Pug. Diesels, we have a Intercity 125 power car. This won't be here next week because somebody has actually just bought that on my eBay. We have Class 31 Floreat Salopia, still don't know if I'm saying that name right. A Virgin HST, complete with all the coaches that you've seen running around the layout. We've got some container wagons, a random assortment of wagons, and then obviously, as you can see on the layout, we have 2 London Custards, Triangle Maroon, 4 Pullmans, 4 Virgin Mark 4s, brake van, open wagons, and some coal trucks. That's what you've got to choose from. If you want anything running on my layout in particular, please do let me know and I'll put them straight on for you now. If not, I'll give it a few moments and then I'll start putting some stuff on myself. John has said, you've got an excellent setup. I wish I had your wiring skills. Oh, that's really nice of you, John. Thank you very much. Yeah, it took quite a long time, and it's the budget option, to be honest. These signals were bought off eBay, the switches were off eBay or Amazon. The point motors were very, very cheap at like £5 a pop off Gauge Master, but it just goes to show that, you know, even though I only spent £110, and I could have easily spent £350 on doing this signal and point motor setup, it shows that, you know, you can do model railways on a budget. These platforms, for instance, made myself, painted, cut, shaped, sanded myself. So, you know, just shows what you can do. But yeah, thank you very much, John. That's really nice of you to say. And yeah, I am, you know, quite good with electronics type stuff. It took me an entire month straight of doing it from like December to, well, yeah, end of December to end of January, so a month it took me to do it, of pretty much doing like maybe 1 or 2 hours work, sometimes more every day, but yeah, it's done now, and I'm really happy with it. So, let's get some different trains on. John says, I'm good with weathering and scenery, but wiring and electronics aren't my vein. Excuse me, this J2O is really not having a good effect on me. You know, I'm alright at scenery, and to be honest, I'm probably going to rope my more artistic brother into helping with the scenery. I'm alright at scenery, but I'm good with electronics, and it sounds like, you know, the complete opposite to me. I am shocking with art and, you know, design and drawing and stuff like that, but I'm very good, well, good with electronics in the model railway sense, in the sense that, you know, BigClive.com is on YouTube or Electroboom is. I'm terrible, but with model railway electronics, I can get by just fine. That doesn't go in the steam loco drawer, that goes in the diesel loco drawer. You know, I think I am going to run this HST. Let's run the HST. So that is the drive car over here. Soldering as well, while we're on about electronics, people are almost mortified when they have to hear about soldering or think, oh no, I've got to do soldering for my layout. That reminds me, while we're on about electronics, I really need to do a soldering tutorial, because it almost seems that in every soldering video, every model railway soldering video I watch on YouTube, people are, you know, terrified of the thing, and I can understand why. But, you know, I don't think it's something you need to be scared about. It's something you've just got to practice at. The only way you're ever going to become good at soldering is if you do some soldering. There's no point. Yes, you can have the very basic 30-second theory of somebody telling you how to solder, but, you know, watching soldering videos for 14 hours is not going to teach you how to solder. What's going to teach you how to solder is you doing some soldering. So what I definitely need to do quite soon, which I'm planning to, is do a video on soldering, because yeah, in my opinion, it's an essential skill if you've got a model railway. At some point, you're gonna have to do some soldering. So I will make a video about that. Because I am, well, not blowing my own trumpet, but I am blowing my own trumpet. I am quite good at soldering. So this is what we're going to do on the 4th radius on the Gresley line. We've got the Virgin Power Car, Lady in Red, 3 Virgin Mark 3s, and an In-City 125. This technically isn't mine anymore. I've just sold this on eBay. It's a dummy power car. It's not any driving. It's out of the 2 I bought a while ago to do up, and I sold the power car, but not the dummy power car. So this one's going on the back as a last farewell before I package it up and send it off to the buyer. Let's stick the 9F on the 2nd radius, just because I feel like ramming the biggest loco I've got onto the tightest curved line, because I think that'd be funny. The coupling's dropped off the back again, not counting that's a mishap, because that happens all the time. So what we're putting with the 9F, let's put the Pullmans with the 9F. So let's steal those. Pullmans, where's my chair? I nearly fell on the floor then. Pullmans. One. 2. Oh, that's the brake coach. That should ideally go at the end. If you can tell, if you've not been on my channel before, I'm not typically bothered about prototypicality, or being prototypical if we actually want to use standard English, not random stuff I made up in the 3 seconds I had to make up. But there we go, Pullmans and the 9F, I'm sure that's happened at some point. But anyway, I'm more about just having fun with trains. 2nd radius line. There goes the 9F with the Pullmans, if I remember to couple them up. There we go. John is off. He said, well, I have to be off for groceries. Take care, my friend. Great stream. Thank you very much, John. Thank you for joining the stream and taking the time to come and comment and watch my stream. Thank you very much for your comments and your compliments today. Do enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon and evening. And do take care. Thank you very much for watching indeed. Enjoy grocery shopping. Right, we need something to do with the 3rd radius line. Let's do Tornado Tender first, I'm thinking. We're going to do Tornado Tender first. There we go. Oh, I've just noticed. I think I have to count that as a massive mishap. Can you tell I've not been streaming for quite a long time because I've still got the Christmas headboard on Tornado? Gordon Bennett. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, and I could rig it so I don't fail the challenge, but I'm counting that as not 1, but 2 mishaps. So we're now on 9 mishaps. Let's stick that somewhere so we don't forget it. But yeah, I've left the Christmas headboard on from almost 5 months ago. Well, not almost, it is 5 months ago. That is poor. So yes, we got 2 mishaps for that one. So if 1 more mishap occurs, we have failed the challenge. If we can keep it at 9 for the next 45 minutes, we will complete the challenge. But if we have 1 more mishap, then we will unfortunately fail the mishap challenge. Which I don't want to do, but it'd also be kind of amusing. Yeah, I've left the Christmas headboard on. That's a pretty bad nose-up if you ask me. Also, I'm not even sure if this I can re-rail stuff by hand, obviously. But I don't know if this re-railer... I just kind of want to test it out to see if it does work, to be honest. Oh, I think that's got it sorted. Yeah, that seems to work on ballasted track. I didn't think it would. If you sort of force it in between the rails so that it sort of holds itself down, that does it indeed seem to work on ballasted track. That's nice. There we go. We'll get Tornado coupled up. Third radius controller, let's think about which way we need to go. We need to go backwards. Is Tornado dead? No, it would just cut out. Let's couple Tornado up. Ignore the fact that there's a Class 37 sitting on the platform. I will rectify that momentarily. Let's send the 9F round the runaround loop for the lap. Tornado's not coupled properly again. It's because, yeah, NEM pockets and tension locks on a curve, great idea. Also, the 9F's buffers keep scraping against the platform here because I haven't left enough clearance between the edge of the track and the platform, so that will need chiselling out and repainting at some point. Not now, obviously. Probably not for quite a while. Yeah, you might hear little clicking and popping noises as the 9F buffer does spring against the platform. But yeah, I will rectify that at some point. Come on, I hate NEM couplings. So fiddly. Oh, now the bloody tenders come off as well. Couple! Yes, we're coupled. Right. Reverse A. And now we pass that signal, change the signal to green. Smashing. Power. It's cut out again. Off we go. Tornado is now on its way. Tornado is now cut out once again. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't sound healthy. And now the HST's line is clear. We can get the HST on the road as well. And Tornado is not behaving at all. But before we do that, we'll get the HST going. Power! HST takes some warming up. It's an old ring field. Tornado is, yeah, not really working. This is the problem of not running trains over winter. You know, there's a lot of temperature cycles in the loft and they don't get run for a while and things gunk up. So I probably at some point will start doing a servicing stream and I will get any locos that don't work properly back up and running, as I call that series. Does Scotsman work? I actually can't remember. Tornado's body's knackered as well. I could do with a new one. I tell you what, we'll put the Marklin on, which will have to unfortunately go on the correct way around because it hasn't got a front coupling. So we'll put the Marklin on. Try not to get run over by the other trains. One moment, please. Oh, I can't connect it. Yes, we're connected. Now I've actually got some molly grease, some proper grease, not just oil. I should probably grease this Marklin's gears. All metal gears on this Marklin. It's a a really good quality loco. It's old, so it's not a modern mechanism, but the old mechanism is very, very well engineered. It's got like a German version of a Ringfield in it. It's a lovely thing. So we'll back it up. Yes, the markling still works. Couple this one by hand because the European coupling obviously not quite compatible with tension locks, but you can force them together like so. Power. Well, never mind, it's uncoupled itself. We may have to put a different coach on here, so I really don't know how well this will work. I have to couple it even more manually. That coupling looks to be a little bit fat to get in that gap, so we'll go for the Triang one, which has thin metal couplings rather than thicker plastic ones. So we'll stick that on here. He says, failing to rail the thing. Hey, we're railed now. And hopefully this thin metal coupling, yeah, should hook onto that coupling a lot better. Off we go. A little bit eager there. No, we've cut out again. Silly thing. Pickups probably want... No, it's cutting out left, right and centre. Come on. You're German. German engineering's supposed to be good. I know the German train system apparently isn't that good. I mean, it's all electrified, isn't it? But apparently it's hardly ever on time. Oh, it's all going wrong. Right, we'll dispose of you and put something else on. Does Scotsman work? I don't think it does. We'll try. Flying Scotsman with a realistic chuffing sound. Well, it works because I've just seen it moving. Because I've still got the power on. Well, barely. Yep, Scotsman's out of the question. That don't work either. What about the D16? Now, despite this being quite a good loco with a metal chassis and metal running plates, it's disappointingly poor pulling power. Probably not enough weight over the driving wheels. And only having 4 driving wheels probably don't help it, but at least they haven't included traction tyres. But yeah, sometimes it does struggle, so we'll try that. I know that one works. No, it's stopped the wheel spinning. Yeah, it's Could do with some more weight packing into that, but the problem is there's not really anywhere to put said weight. I think even the boiler's full of lead. Oh well, not lead, not in these days, but full of weight, and it still has issues. No, it's barely managing. In fact, I'd go too far as say it isn't managing, so take a coach off and see how that goes. But yeah, disappointingly poor pulling power on that one. Anyway, so I think it's about time we move on to the next item to discuss for the stream. And we're going to talk about channel news. Now, obviously, videos about the layout this year have been so far sparse because there just really hasn't been the time or the want or the need to make any videos. You know, I haven't really done that much. I said I'm going to do the one about the... I said I'm going to do the one with the... talking about the points, the point motor systems, the signals, how that's all worked, how that's wired. And now I'm going to do that, but videos about the layout have been fairly few and far between. There've been a lot of train spotting and a lot of train sim worlds, and to be honest, that's sort of going to be roughly the same, because I've got exams, I've got other things on. You know, I haven't got time, or a lot of time, or a lot of money to be spending on the layout, if I'm going to be honest with you. So it's going to be quite a lot of Train Sim World videos this year, because that's something I really found lacked last year. I've started a series of that this year, so I've got a chance to do that. I am going to be, obviously, still going out to train spot and see trains and stuff like that. And also, I am going to be continuing the sort of the theme of doing more, you know, sort of not train-related videos. So, you know, I've done the Ocado video, I did the Face Me Reveal April Fool's thing, I've done the lawn mowing video last year, and I've done stuff like the Breaking Bad Christmas edit, the electric kettle versus induction hob experiment. So I'm going to be doing quite a lot more of that this year, I think, just because it's what I enjoy. I know it means it won't all be training related, but I still think it'll be quite a fun and interesting thing to do. I've got a couple of series that I plan to do coming up, so again, we're going to be continuing with the Train Sim World Train Racing series. I'm going to start in a new sort of off-topic series about fixing up lawnmowers and selling them on, buying them cheap off Facebook Marketplace, fixing them, doing up, cleaning them, selling them on for a profit. A bit like how Mower Man does with his like Mountfield SV150 videos. If you just search Mower Man into YouTube, you'll know which one I mean. Guy with a stone patio in the middle of his grass. You'll see what I mean. His style of video, sort of buying mowers, fixing them, doing them up, selling them on, and getting them all to work for a bit of a profit. I'm going to be doing that throughout the next year, and probably quite a long way into the future as well, to bring some money for myself. It's interesting, I like mowers, I like cutting the grass a lot. You know about the Mountfield mower. And I think it'd be interesting to make a little bit of a mini-series out of that as well. So stuff like that's going to be coming. I've got some random sort of meme edits I want to do for the channel, not necessarily on this one, I might make a separate channel for them. But I've got a load of other different little bits and bobs I want to do here and there, off-topic bits mainly for the channel. Different things I want to try and experiment with. So I'll run you through some ideas that are on my ideas list for videos. So I've got a video entitled A Collection of Pleasing Pieces of Film and Song, in which I insert clips of my favourite pieces of video and film and music, things that I find really satisfying and I enjoy watching. And then some videos include the best 33 seconds of video I've ever watched. Can we please stop the Ryanair animosity? Is the UK 230 or 240 volts? Top speed steam locos on Train Sim World. And a video that I'm really looking forward to making, which is called This Video Has X Views, but I couldn't be bothered writing the title's code, so ChatGPT did. Kind of a sort of thing how Tom Scott did that for his channel. I want to try and do it for mine, but obviously using ChatGPT and AI to write the code, because I can't be bothered learning code. And then I have some videos on, sort of, again with Train Sim World 2, So I'm planning to do Robert Louis Stevenson's poem From a Railway Carriage in Train Sim World 2. I've got a video entitled The PRR, the Pennsylvania Railroad T1, Why America Shouldn't Break the Steam Speed Record. I've got another video called British Railways Locomotives, the best... Sorry, I've got a video called British Railway Locomotives, the best in the world. And then going on to more off-topic stuff, I've also got another video called 5G Communication Probably Won't Kill You. Here's why. So that's going to give you a little bit of an overview of the videos you might expect to see from my channel in the next year. They might not be all the way through the year, they might not all be this year, they might not all be next year, but I'm hoping to do a pretty decent chunk of them this year because both the train-related videos I read out there and the non-train-related videos I read out there, I feel like they're going to be really interesting to produce and make, and hopefully bring in some viewers from a wider audience to my channel as well. So that's the sort of videos and sort of content I'm going to be producing over the next year. There's going to be plenty more stuff to do with fixing and servicing, plenty more lawnmower stuff, but of course we're not shying away from the fact I'm a train channel. We will have plenty of Train Sim World 2 and model train and layout related stuff as well. Joe from Northern Transport Hub has joined the chat. Thank you very much for joining, Joe. I hope you are well. Thank you very much for joining the stream. If you would like any requests, anyone in the chat, this is Joe and anyone in the chat. If you would like any requests, please do let me know now and I will put them on the track straight away. We haven't got anyone with a request yet. These are my trains that I've put on. So if you've got anything you want to see running, Joe or anyone else in the chat, do let me know and I can put them on. I'll do some camera changing now. I'm aware you've been staring at that dual camera screen for quite a long time. Let's do some train chasing. Just a reminder from the shout out as well I did earlier. Northern Transport Hub, as I said right at the beginning of the stream, did a shout out on his community page about this stream, so thank you very much to Joe for that, and thank you very much to anyone who joined the stream as a result of Joe's community post. That was very kind of you, Joe. Thank you very much indeed. For a little bit of a change, I don't normally do this during streams, but why don't we spin the mainline camera around? Can't really do it for the station camera because that's attached to a wooden joist. But for a little bit of a change, why don't we stick the camera there? There's not really that much room on the wire, I'm not going to lie to you. But why don't we, for a change, stick the camera that way, and I just remember not to stick my head in shot. Well, there we go. Ah, damn it, we haven't got enough wire for this. Camera's moving. Stay. Let's move that Malteser's wrapper out of shot. There, you didn't see that. Yeah, don't mind the truck just lobbed in the gardens of the houses, it's fine. Nobody's noticed yet. Now that you can see the front of the signals, because generally how I have my camera set up is that, you know, sort of facing the direction of the trains. with the exception of the third radius line, that goes the opposite way to everything else. I can show you what I mean by now by the signals changing. So if you look at the signals up here, you should be able to now see that they swap colour. If I give the CDU a couple of seconds to charge up again look at the signals up here, furthest away from the camera. We'll just give the CDU a moment to charge up again, and this charging up problem isn't a problem for me because I just install a better power supply, or I just wait because I'm never going to be flicking points mad, am I? So again, you can see they swap colour. One more time and I'll swap colour. And now there you can see how they're sort of interlocked with one another. One switch does the point and a signal or two depending on how many is attached to it. Thank you very much, Joe. You've just said I'll post a link to my friends. That's very kind of you once again, Joe. Thank you for taking the time to stop and promote my channel. It's very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. And you've also said, it seems my community post didn't work as intended. Sorry. Well, of course it has, Joe. You've shouted me out on your community post. That's been very, very helpful. People have been popping in and out, so don't worry about it. It's fine. I honestly don't mind if my streams don't have very many people. It'd be quite a pain if there was loads in. I honestly don't mind, Joe. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I enjoy doing these streams, and it's a bonus if, you know, a lot of people come to watch, so it's not a problem. Don't worry. But thank you very much for the continued support of my channel. It's very, very much appreciated. I'll give the trains a few more laps, I think, and we will then put some more trains on. And then just to finish off, in the last 20 minutes, I'll do some shootouts as well. So let's set the third radius signal to red, so we can get the third radius train stopped. 37 soon? Yes, I can. I'll put the 37 on for you, Joe. Any particular stock you want running with it? Freight or passenger? What coaches would you like? And I can indeed put the 37 on for you. That is not a problem. It was running earlier, but more than happy to put it on for you again. There goes the 9F. And I'll slow the HST right down for its final lap. Have you got any Great Western / Southern Steam locos? And I should say, Great Western 5199, thank you very much for joining indeed. Thanks for commenting and coming to watch my stream. Hope you're doing okay. There goes the HST expertly stopped before the signal. But yes, I haven't got any Southern ones. I, technically speaking, have two Great Western ones. A 14XX which suffered from Mazak rot and the chassis crumbled, which I'm still looking for a new chassis for. So if anyone knows where a Hornby 14XX chassis is, that would be very much appreciated. But that's out of order. What I do have though, my only working Great Western loco is a little Great Western 101, as I will show you here. And yes, I've tricked you, I've moved the camera again. Let's just reset that. How did I have it before? About there? Yep, that's all set up. So yeah, I have the little 101, so I'll run that for you if you want. Joe said he wanted the 37, and because the Pullmans are on the second radius line, I think we should give the 37 the Pullmans. So I will put the Pullmans with the 37. The 37 is of course in its diesel drawer. Bonk, right camera. So let's do the 37 and the Pullmans. Now railed that first try. So there we go there, Joe. That is your request. Thank you very much for that. 47, 37, if I could put my teeth in. 37 and some Pullmans. Off we go with that. Great Western 5199 wanted to see the Great Western 101. More than happy to do that for you. So we'll do the Great Western 101, and seeing as you haven't mentioned any particular, that's my tool drawer, stock with it, I think we will go for some open wagons, a small train of open wagons. So we got two, is it bauxite this colour? I can't remember. And two more open wagons in here, one that's actually filled with stone and a grey empty one. So there we go, that is Great Western 5199's request. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for that request, that's a good one. Don't get much love that 101 to be honest, probably because it's a small and dainty loco. So those two coaches come off the third radius line. Off we go with the 101. Let's get all cameras back on. There we go, with a short open wagon train. And then I will think of something to put on the fourth radius line if nobody else can think of anything. If anyone else left in the chat has got any requests, please do let me know and I will put them on the fourth radius line right now. If not, don't worry, I shall think of something myself. Some more people have joined. I will get to your comments in a second. Never fear, I have not ignored you. I have seen you. And while we're waiting for somebody to think of something for a request for the fourth radius line, if they so want it, I'll say hello to some people in the chat. We have Preserve Steam UK. Hello there, nice layout. How long have you had it for? Thank you very much for joining, Preserve Steam. I hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for taking the time to comment. This layout has been up since, in the loft, the layout has been here since September, October 2021, but my actual first layout was down in my bedroom sort of January, February 2020, so third year of doing model trains. This layout's been up since September, October 21. Thank you very much for taking the time to comment. Also, Trains Across the North has joined. Thank you very much for joining, Trains Across the North. Thank you very much for taking the time to comment. Thank you very much for watching. Hope your day is going great. Great Western 5199. 9F on an express on 4th radius, please. Certainly. I should say as well, I have a Discord page now. I have a Discord channel where you can talk to me in general. You can suggest video ideas, make memes of me if you want. Up to you, really. I'm not bothered. And I will post a link in the chat in a second. But effectively, it's the Hybrid Mod Railway Discord server. You can talk to me about how to fix trains if you've got a problem. You can consult me on my wealth of knowledge about very, very niche things. You can suggest video ideas, as I've said. You can just talk to me in general. So yeah, if you would like to join the Hybrid Mod Railway Discord server, there is such a thing. And as soon as I've got the express on for Great Western, I will... Couple your damn thing. As soon as I've got this train on, this request train on, I will... get the link for you if you would like to join it. You do not have to, but if you would like to, if you would find it useful, if you find me so interesting and voice so soothing you would like more of me, I can invite you to my Discord server, which I'll have to do from my phone because I haven't got Discord on my laptop. So here is your express, Great Western. Have I got the right camera on? Ah, it'll do until I get this coach on. Here is your 9F Express, Great Western. Thank you very much once again for requests. You've got 2 on at the moment. Star requester goes to you. Off goes the 9F with your request. Trains Across the North says, what locomotives do you have? Also nice layout. Thank you very much. It's, yeah. Got some scenery to do next and it will look even better. Thank you very much for your compliment. What locomotives do you have? I have a 9F, a 101, a 37, a HST, Flying Scotsman, Tornado, Golden Eagle, a big Marklin German engine, a little LMS tank engine, Queen Elizabeth II 0F Pug, a D16, a 31 and an 08. I think you're already in it, Joe. I think you're already in the server. I think I messaged you a while ago. But yeah, I think you're in the server, Joe. I've got you added on Discord. Evan Terry said he shall join. Yep, I will do that right away. So let's go into Discord on my phone. I'll put it in a community post after the stream, and I will put it in the stream now. So if you would like to join, then you can indeed do as you please. So we need to sod off Discord. Log out of my personal Discord. Log in to my personal Discord. Logged into my personal Discord. My server invite. Settings, invite link expires, never, infinity users, save, share link, copy, YouTube. Question, ever heard of Knight Rider? Yes, I've never watched it, but I know roughly speaking what it is. My channel. So, going in the chat now is the Discord link. If you would like to join my Discord, you can. You can add me as a friend as well. I will accept you as long as you're not weird. I'm joking. But there is the link to my Discord server. Thank you very much to anyone who joins it. Hopefully we can establish a good community on there. The 9F is indeed working hard, Great Western. I don't particularly run trains at light speed, but yes, probably the biggest train it's had to pull for a long while. Northern Transport says, yeah, I know I'm already about to lead to my old account, RSC. You are more than welcome to join the new one with your new account. Trains Across the North, can you please double head Tornado and the Flying Scotsman? Yes, I can. Joe says I'm just going to use my current account ready to install on my current PC. That's absolutely fine. He's grown a new liking towards it. There's loads of clips on YouTube. Very interesting. I know roughly what it is. It's the car with the flashing red lights in it. The 9F is working really hard. I can try double-heading Tornado and Scotsman, but unfortunately both of them could do with a service, so what I am going to do is, because Joe asked for the 37, I'm actually just going to bung 3 engines. I'm just going to bung 3 engines on one line and see what happens. God knows, really. So there's Scotsman. Tornado can come on as well. Thank you to everyone who is or will be joining the Discord as well. Thank you to everyone for commenting. Lovely to see you all today. Have you got Train Simulator Classic? No, I've got Train Sim World 2 on Xbox. I haven't got Classic. I've got a relatively beefy laptop in terms of laptop specs, but nowhere near good enough to pay to play Train Sim Classic, the unoptimised, buggy, mess, graphic, terrible game that it is. So there we go. I've no idea how well this is going to work, but hey, let's just see. Flying Scotsman's locked up and not spinning its wheels, but we'll just send them round the layout very slowly, because I don't want to burn out any motors or ruin any engines, so we'll just send them around the layout and see what happens for the laugh. I've got Train Sim World 2. I probably won't buy Train Sim World. I probably won't be buying Train Sim World 3 either ever, or I'll only be buying it if it's on sale, because yeah, I'd just rather keep Train Sim World 2. I don't really want, you know, there's no current Train Sim World 3 routes I want to buy. If there was a Train Sim World 3 route I thought sounded really interesting, then yeah, of course I'd buy it. But at the moment, there's no Train Sim World 3 routes. There's no Train Sim World 3 routes that are really of an interest for me that are worth buying Train Sim World 3 and then spending an extra 25 quid on a DLC, so yeah, I'm just going to stick to Train Sim World 2 and get all the old DLCs, because stuff like Tees Valley Line, what's the other one? The Tees Valley Line and... oh, there's another one. The Class 20 Chopper and all the old stuff. The old British stuff from Train Sim World Original and Train Sim World 2 is really what interests me, so unless there's a new route on Train Sim World 3 that really, really interests me, then you know, I'm not going to buy it because it's just not worth it. I'd rather invest that £30 on Train Sim World 3 into the layout, if I'm going to be honest. Yes, this Scotsman 37 double head thing hasn't really worked. I might just run the 3 trains without the coaches. But yeah, so I don't have Train Sim World Classic because I don't have a PC, I have a laptop. And I probably won't be getting Train Sim World 3 unless there's a really interesting route. This is really becoming a pain. But we shall prevail. I'll come back to your comments in a second or so. Oh, the 37's also committed suicide. There we go. We'll couple up to the coach again and see what happens. Suggest sticking the 37 on the rear. Might not be a good idea because the 37 runs a lot faster than the other two, so I don't want it like ramming them off the track, but we'll see what happens. We'll just back up and see what happens. This looks exciting, says trains across the north. Indeed. Technically, because they all derailed, that is indeed a 10th math mishap, which means we have failed today's challenge, and I'll explain what that means in a second. Interesting to think that your Scotsman is older than real-life Tornado. Yeah, you're right there. Things are breaking. You are right there. It's one of the very old Flying Scotsmans with the chuffing tender, although you can't hear it over the music and the background of the other trains. But yes, it is indeed. It's the very old Triang one, the lit up firebox glow, the chuffing tender. Yeah, it's quite funny that, isn't it? Yeah. I think what might be a good idea is having the 37 pull the other two. Because I've just realised that the 37 is at the back of those two engines, so if we have it pull the other two, it might work. If you're new to the channel, you haven't already guessed, yes, my Sunday streams are generally just mucking about because that's fun. And also, you watching me fail is hilarious for you, but also being very, very irritating for me. But anyway, let's try the 37 pulling those. It's a fairly beefy loco, we'll see what happens. Well, it's working for now, but how long it'll work for, I don't know. Joe says I'll do a train sim stream perhaps tonight. That sounds interesting. I'll try and make it if I can. Joe says, what I'm surprised to say is you always manage to hide the station name when you film real trains. Yes, because the station name of my local station is also the name, well, would you believe, is also the name of the town where I live. And because it's a small town, I'm not keen on revealing that closest to where I live. Yeah, the double-heading Scotsman Tornado thing really ain't working. I'm sorry, but I don't want to damage my trains. It's cost Tornado and Flying Scotsman's pickups are filthy. They both need cleaning, so they're both just stalling, and the 37's just not got enough oomph to pull both of them along. So I will get them cleaned up for next week. Whoever requested that, I do apologise. But for now, we'll just run the 37. I'll get them both cleaned up and serviced for next week, and then I will double head Tornado and Flying Scotsman for you next week. I do apologise for that, but I have no desire to wreck 150 quid's worth of trains. Well, maybe not 150 quid's worth. But yeah, I don't want to wreck my trains. I do purposefully hide it, Joe. That's why I always crop down the video, if it does appear. Train Sim Classic runs well on some laptops depending on what routes you get. It might do. I haven't got a graphics card in my laptop though. I've got an i7 processor and 20GB RAM, so I'm not sure how well it'd run considering I've only got Intel Iris integrated graphics cards. But I don't know. Maybe I ought to give it a try. Maybe, maybe not. Train Sim World, excuse me, 3 doesn't run that well on it. Train Sim World 2 doesn't run that well on it, so I mainly play that on my Xbox. Joe says it's a James May one with the realistic chuffing sound. Yes, it is indeed. I was waiting for somebody to say that. I will do that next week, Joe. I will get Tornado and Scotsman fixed up for next week. I'll turn the music off next week and I'll let them run for you just by themselves next week. Obviously, I don't want to break them this week or knacker the traction tyres on the 37, but I'll get them serviced up for next week and we'll be able to hear the Flying Scotsman with realistic chuffing sound next week. I'll promise you for that one. I'll get it done. Also, I've just realised the 101's been going through a red signal for like the last 20 minutes, so I've just fixed that. Evan says, I think I know what station it is, I won't say though. Okay, Evan. If you've guessed, then very well done. But, yeah. Don't tell anyone. Because obviously, if you told everyone, then what's the point of me hiding it? But, yeah, thank you for that. Well, at the end of these streams, towards the end of these streams, what I often do is I tell you and calculate the number of frames dropped, total number of frames in the video. So, I think I shall do that now for a bit of Hybrid Maths Railway. So, OBS is telling me we've dropped 6,412 frames, which is 1.7% of the total frames, which is not too bad. We are now running in 60 FPS because of my laptop now has 20GB of RAM instead of 8. I upgraded it a while ago, primarily for better video editing. So now that we are running in 60 FPS, you know, it's sort of double the FPS we were doing before. So yeah. Sounds quite a lot, but 1.7% isn't that much. But we'll calculate the total number of frames from that. I could do it by... yeah, I'm not... do I do it that way or do it the other way? So total number of frames today. What we will do is we will do 1 hour 45 minutes is 105 minutes times 60 seconds. That's not right. "105 minutes times 60 seconds in a minute times 60 frames per second. We've had 378,000 frames, of which 6,412 have been dropped. So if we do 6,412 divided by 37830, then that does indeed come out to 1.7%. So OBS can do maths. Engine says, how old is my layout? It is just over a year and a half years old. It was September 2021, so about a year and a half, 1.5 years old. Check your train spotting. Oh god, there's a couple of HP videos in there. Train spotting playlist. Oh god, what have I done? Have I chucked some random crap into it? Ah yes, there's all of Avada Kedavra in Harry Potter, and Hagrid stabs Flick's hand. Thank you for that, Joe. I thought I'd gone and done something really embarrassing there. Thank you for the pointer. Could have been worse. Evan says, I've never ever been there before, my station, because I'm down south, but I've seen that station in other vids. Okay. Well, there isn't Harry Potter in there anymore. It's because what happens is I save stuff to watch on my YouTube account. I sometimes forget that I'm on my train account rather than personal account, and then I mean to save stuff to watch later, but then because I've added my own videos to my own playlist, it doesn't save stuff to watch later, it saves stuff to the playlist, so stuff I never intended to end up on my playlist ends up in there. So thank you very much for that pointer, chaps. Much appreciated, thank you for looking after me. It's all gone now. I'm going to give the trains a few more laps, and then I think I'll bring everything to a close, because we've had 1 hour and 45. It is indeed 6 o'clock, and I'm getting hungry. So we'll let everything just have a couple more minutes ambling around the layouts, and then I think we'll bring everything to a close. I did mean to do some shout-outs, so shout-outs to people in the chat. Evan Terry, Team 666, Mystic Railroad, Northern Transport Hub, Great Western 5199, Trains Across the North, Preserve Steam UK, Evan Terry again, Northern Transport Hub, Great Western 5199, Trains Across the North. Thank you to the Engine Shed. Thank you to the Engine Shed, he's in here as well. Thank you very much to everyone for joining the stream today. Once again, a big thank you to Northern Transport Hub for shouting me out in his community post and sharing this stream to his friends, as he said earlier. Big shout out to Northern Transport Hub for promoting my channel. Massive thank you, and thank you for the continued support to my channel. Who else do I want to shout out? There is someone in particular. Who is it? There is somebody else, but I can't remember who. That's gonna really annoy me now. Oh, that was it. What I wanted to... This isn't my channel. Let's fix that. What is my at? Is it HEMR or at HEMR Railway? I can't remember. Let's see. Is it that one? Yes, I got it right. In particular, I wanted to shout out to people, everyone who commented under this video. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous. Oh, chuffing ads. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous about posting this video because I am effectively just spending the entire video slagging off some woman who nearly fell over at the railway, and I thought, well, is her being that close to the track actually that big of a deal? Did I really need to make this big of a deal over a woman being that close to the track? Because all she did really was fell over, but people in the comments generally agreed with me, so I'm pleased that I've not sort of blown this out of proportion or anything like that. I'm pleased that sort of everyone in the majority agreed with me, so I just want to shout everyone out who's watched this video, because it's doing really well. It's on 350 views, and that's massive for me. I only get around 40 to 50 views a video, so thank you to everyone who's watched that, and thank you to everyone who's shown the support for this video. I was a little bit nervous about putting it out there originally, but everyone's sort of agreeing with me that it is sort of a bit ridiculous. So shout out to everyone who's commented in here: Tico Sprinter, Jake B, The Rail Tourer, Bryant Edhouse, Duck, David Hennessy, Timber Valley Productions, Chris Davis, Lewis Cartwright, and Timber Valley Productions again. Thank you everyone very much for your support under that video, because as I say, didn't know whether to put it out there at first. And going back to the main man I want to shout out today, it is indeed Joe from Northern Transport Hub for his continued support from my channel and getting people, sending the stream link to people and notifying people about my channel. Thank you very much indeed for that, Joe. It does mean a big, well, it means a lot, and it makes a massive difference to the channel, so thank you very much indeed. I think 6 minutes past 6 we'll bring the stream to a close there, I think, so we'll set the third radio signal to red, and we'll think about getting the train stopped and saying goodbye for today. I should say as well, my streams normally aren't on a Sunday. The only reason it's only on a Sunday at 5:15 instead of a Saturday at 5:15 is because I was really busy yesterday. So next week, this stream will be done Saturday at 5:15. Not Sunday, it's just a one-off that we're doing Sunday this week. It will be Saturday at 5:15 next week, if you would all like to join again. We'll stop the 101 right at the signal. Itch the 9F forward a little bit so you can see it a bit better. And here comes the 37, which we will put in the runaround loop. There we go. So that is the first stream of 2023 all done and dusted. Unfortunately, as you see at the top right, we did fail the aiming for perfection / mishap stream count. The score to beat last time in terms of mishaps was 9. Unfortunately, we went 1 over at 10. So as you can see there, we did indeed fail the challenge, which is a little bit unfortunate, but you know, the first one you do, you turn the cameras on and everything goes to pot, so I'm surprised we weren't at nearly 55, to be honest. But anyway, next time we do one of these streams, probably in a few weeks, maybe a month or so, and next time we will be trying to beat the score of 10 for the mishaps, so hopefully we can do that next time. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined the stream today. Thank you to everyone who's commented, who's sent in requests, who's been in the stream, who's watched, who's liked and all that jazz. And thank you as well to Joe for shouting out my channel so much. And thanks to everyone who is joining my Discord server. There is the link once again. Do remember to join if you would like to, and add me as a friend on it, if you so wish, and I'll put that in a community post as soon as the stream finishes as well. So I think it's time to wrap up just about there. So thank you everyone for joining me for today's live stream. It really has been wonderful to see you all here today, and thank you for your requests and your comments as always. I do hope you have enjoyed watching the stream as much as I have. I can't speak. I hope you have enjoyed watching the stream as much as I have had running it, and as I always say, these weekly streams really are one of my favourite types of content to produce and make. I will hopefully see you the same time next week on Saturday, not Sunday this time, on Saturday at 5:15. But meanwhile, I would just like to say thank you all very much once again for joining this evening. Do take care, and bye for now. See you next week on Saturday.